Do you feel the vibes?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Mustang 314 here. I got the new Harbor Freight ad in front of me. Just received it in the mail a few days ago. Finally had time to flip through it, and I thought I'd go through and talk about a few things in here. As you can see, I circled some things, and they're kind of the ones I want to talk about. I actually have this compressor. I'm a big fan of it. It works really good. The only thing I would change is the air filter. And I actually have a video on that, so you can search my videos and find that. And this is the half-inch electric impact wrench. I think it's a great deal. There's a lot of reviews and things in the on the website that say it's not very powerful, but it was taking out the nuts on my rear control arms and things, and they're in there pretty good, and had no problems with lug nuts. Just zipped them right off. I wonder if anyone's used the 1-ton capacity folding shop crane for like engine hoist. I wonder if anyone's used that and it was a good thing to use. Let me know, because I'm actually getting ready to switch the engine in my car. Their toolboxes, that is a great deal. Those are they're actually very high quality. I was messing with them in the store and looking through and stuff, and if I had a little more room, I would definitely buy some of those. They're hardwood movers dollies. They look a little flimsy in the store, but at Lowe's they will sell you the exact same one with the exact same materials for over $20. It's kind of ridiculous when you can get them at Harbor Freight for $8. The aluminum rapid pump racing jacks, all their jacks are awesome. I've never found one of the Harbor Freight ones that are not very good. The steel ones are great, and the aluminum ones are a little lighter. I mean, this one says it's 34 pounds. The steel one that I have, it's a 2.5 ton jack, and it weighs over 80 pounds. So it's a big deal. Their tool bags, the Voyager tool bags, that's a great deal. They're very well made, and I think they're a great deal, especially with a coupon. They're even cheaper. I've heard nothing but bad things about their table vices. You clamp down on something really hard. I've heard of them cracking. People hitting things on the anvil and they crack, kind of fall apart. Their jack stands are always a pretty good deal. I'm not a big fan of the deep V's at the top, but other than that, they're very sturdy. They're better than the Walmart ones at a comparable price. The Diablo Air Hoses, they're awesome. They're the greatest hoses that I've ever used, but I haven't used a whole lot. But they're definitely the best Harbor Freight has. The service carts, a lot of people prefer the polypropylene ones because they're more easy to like customize. Like you can drill holes in them and hang things on them a lot easier than you can the steel ones. If you're needing some remote batteries, like a TV remote or some kind of remote of that nature, not Xbox remote, but these batteries are not bad for that. They last quite a while in a Charter TV remote. At least they do in my house. Their tarps, they're kind of a good deal. They're pretty weather resistant. My grill and my fire pit stayed under them all winter, and they didn't rust. I left them out in the rain one time and they rusted, so they held up pretty well. Their impact sockets, I absolutely love them. They're super cheap. And you get a whole set, and they're a great deal. Never broke one. This creeper, I had one of these, and I'm not that heavy. I'm about 200 pounds, but the way I fit in that, being 6 foot, I made the middle kind of like bottom out a little bit, and it was just kind of a weird thing. You can buy a creeper from like Jigs, It comes with a stool for like $50. And it's cool and it says Jags on it. Has anyone used this? I'm kind of interested in that, especially with it being $15. It's a 16 gauge 2-in-1 nailer stapler. I have a finished nailer, but I'm kind of interested in the stapler function of it and being able to just switch over to nails. The table saw. I paid about $30 more and got a Craftsman one. It's a Craftsman Evolve. I'm not sure how I like it yet, but I was really sad to find out it doesn't do dado cuts. But this one does. I was really surprised. A lot of people talk really, really good about it, but I don't think they come with the stand. So that's something to think about. And there's also a bag that goes on the bottom of these. You need to drill holes in your stand to mount it to catch the sawdust. I found a neat way around that. I'll have to make a video on it whenever I assemble mine. They're corded drills. It's a very attractive price for $12, but they're just not that great. For not that much more, you can get one at Home Depot or Home Depot or Lowe's for, I don't know, probably $25 and have a multi-year warranty. I've heard great things from other people about this. I haven't personally used this blue handled 4.5-inch ankle grinder. It has a paddle switch. So that's something to check out. The steel service cart for $30. That's a pretty good deal. I actually almost picked that up the other day when I was in there, and I may go back and get it still. The $8 heat gun, $9 heat gun, complete garbage. I went through two. The first one, the switch just quit working, and the second one actually caught on fire. I absolutely hate the Warrior brand at Harbor Freight. Everything I've ever gotten from them has been junk, with the exception of these. The titanium high-speed step drill bit sets. I actually used it on firewalls of cars. If I need to run a cord through the firewall, it works very well. So I wouldn't try to drill anything real thick with it. I'd say maybe 1/8 of an inch. Anything thicker than that, you're probably gonna destroy your drill bit. $20 for the Orbital Sander. You can get a Ryobi one at Home Depot for, I think I paid $17. They're breaker bars, awesome. It's only 2 pieces with the swivel head. They're very strong, not very flexible. Overall, they're great. I've never had a complaint with them. The storage containers are good for car fuses, wire nuts, that kind of thing. Spade terminals. The plier set, I actually own this, and they're all decent except for the smallest of the needle nose. I actually was squeezing on it, and it broke, and a piece flew off and cut my eyebrow. So I'm not very happy about that. But they have a lifetime warranty. You just take it back in there, and they'll give you another one on the Pittsburgh hand tools. So, but I don't think I'm gonna do it because I don't want to hurt myself again. This hole saw set, it's $5.99, and I was able to put holes in the plywood whenever I was installing, just whatever I needed them for. They worked very, 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 very well. Sorry about me laughing. I just remember when I bought that tire changer kit, I didn't bolt it to the cement like it asked you to, and so I had a friend trying to hold it while we were working with it, and I absolutely did not enjoy that thing. So it actually went back, and I just took them to Walmart and paid the $10 a tire to have them mounted and balanced. I never had any experience with the winches. I had a friend that had one, and he mounted it on his truck, and it worked, but I don't know which one it was. This creeper, this is just like the other creepers that other companies sell with their name on it. Most notably Jags. There's this black and it says Jags on there. There's a Torn one, I think it says Torn on there. They're identical, other than the colors. Same with the stool. I actually have this stool from Jags, and top's black and the logo's yellow. They're identical. The wheels are slightly different, but I actually had 2 Jag stools, and I bought another one of these and used the wheels off it. So I have an extra stool sitting in the corner. Never had any experience with the square one, but I'm sure it's about the same too. Never used any of these trailers or anything. Kind of interested in the foldable one. I don't know, it's probably a hunk of junk, but I'm curious. If anyone owns that, please tell me about it in the comments. Tell me if you hate it or what you hate about it. Anyway, the solid rubber wheel chock. I actually talked about this in another one of my videos. That thing is awesome. You could put that behind anything. I don't know if you could drive over it. Like it's really stout and really grips onto the ground. Their straps are decent. I own this set, the 4-piece, 15-foot long, 1-inch straps. I never had any problems with them. I've never owned any of their OBD2s or any of their higher end multimeters, but I would assume that they're probably decent. The one thing I would suggest you to get is the 6-volt and 12-volt circuit tester with the 5-foot lead. I mean, it's $3.99. This thing is awesome. So you would hook up the one end to ground, or anyway, I don't need to explain how to use it. It works great. It's $4. Great deal. The multimeter they give you for free a lot of times, and they sell it for $6 normally. This thing, you can get a few weeks out of it, but as you fold the leads up to put them away and stuff, they crack and fall apart. And a few sets I would stay away from too. You can see glue spattered all over the inside of them. They're complete garbage. The automatic battery float charger. It's $8.99 here. You can find it on sale for usually about $5. This thing is really awesome. I actually have one in my car right now. Whenever I park my Mustang, I put it on the float charger, and it keeps it charged up. I've never had any problems with it. Been using the same one for about 3 years. Telescoping magnet. I can't explain how many times I've dropped a small bolt and it rolled under the manifold or something, and I had to do some long, weird, reach my arm in and twist it, some kind of process. A magnet would have been so much easier. I've never heard anything good about the tap and die sets, so I just kind of try to stay away from things that people tell me are bad. And with the ball joint tools and the caliper compressors and stuff, I actually will just run to an auto parts store and rent them. I mean, it's you pay a $50 deposit and you bring it home, and then when you take it back, they give you your $50 back. So it's a sweet deal, and I don't need to store a ball joint tool that I'll use every 5 years. The magnetic parts bowl. This thing is awesome. I talked about one of those in the video. They're really great to keep your bolts, nothing to fall out. Same with most of these. You can rent most of these at AutoZone or O'Reilly's. The slide hammer. It's 14-piece slide hammer for $25. That is a great deal. Sorry, couldn't see it on there. It's a really good deal. I actually own this grease gun. This is a mini grease gun with 3 ounces. It's a 3-ounce grease gun. I love it just for getting my rear control arms on my Mustang. When I replaced them, it came with grease fittings. You got to grease the bushings every once in a while. This makes it, I don't even have to put my car in the air really to get out of there with that. And the ones with the hoses, I can never get them to clip on right. So that was a great deal. And I own this brick bleeder vacuum pump kit right here in the corner. My only complaint is everything feels really cheap. The vacuum pump feels good, but all the accessories are like flimsy plastic. And the hose kind of fits loosely on the bleeder valves of the bricks. So what I did is I took a little bit of grease from like the grease gun and put it on that fitting, and when I pushed the hose over it, it made a good seal, so I was able to vacuum my stuff. Maybe I could just replace the hosing with some stiffer hosing. The oil filter wrenches, sometimes you just can't get oil filters off, and it's just easier to stick one of those on there and turn it off. I mean, you get 4 for $7. That is a great deal. At AutoZone, they're about $8 to $12 a piece. So, and of course, Nerdle gloves. That's like the standard. Whenever you go to Harbor Freight, you grab a box of gloves. The rest of their gloves are decent too. Their smoke blend safety glasses. I actually use these as sunglasses a lot. I'm sure they're not polarized or whatever, but they keep the sun out of my eyes and make me happy. Most of the jacks are great, like I was saying. I've never tried the Daytona one. I have a low profile one and a standard jack, and they're both great. I wish I would have spent a little bit more money and got the aluminum one, because they're usually about half the weight. The jack stands, like I was saying, they're pretty good. I don't like the ones with the deep V. They just don't fit right on my car. My wife's car, they fit great. And we're back to that crane, the foldable shop crane. If anyone's used that as an engine hoist, let me know, please. So I'm very interested. I actually had to press some ball joints out, and I took it to a shop, and they told me that they wanted like $30 or $40 to push it out and $30 or $40 to push it back in, which is insane. And I actually have a friend that has this, and we went and did it, and we were done in like 20 minutes with both of them. So even if I had to buy this, just the one purchase, or one time I didn't pay someone to do that, I could have done it myself. I don't know anything about the 6-ton A-frame bench press, but it looks like it might have worked for what I needed. Has anyone use the spray guns, the paint spray guns? I was kind of curious about that. I've heard mixed reviews. Just wanted your guys' experience with that. I don't know anything about any of these tools. I haven't had the privilege of using them yet. What does anyone think about this $7 air cutoff tool? I would assume it's probably pretty decent. Most of the cheap air tools seem to work pretty good, or at least they have for me. Alright, back at the air compressors. I know this guy's pretty decent as far as air compressors go, and I've seen this one used at my friend's house. It's very loud, and it wasn't that great actually, but it did run air tools. This 17-piece air tool accessory kit, that is a great deal. I actually bought 2 of them, so I had plenty of the fittings. This little kit for $2.79 is also a pretty good deal. Comes with a few quick connects and the coupler. Right, all their impact stuff, the sockets, the adapters, the extensions, they're all great, with the exception of the wobbles. Every time I've used them, you can get a few uses out of them and then they just fall apart. I also have the water separator for the air compressor that goes into the line, and it actually catches quite a bit of water. It's not in here for some reason. I don't see it on this page, but it was like $7. I suggest everyone get that if you have one of their air compressors, because they like to spit out a lot of water. More quick connect starter kits. They're all pretty good deals. Their nails are semi-decent. They didn't break or fall out or anything. I have the 21 degree full head and framing nailer, and it works great. I have no complaints about it. I never had a jam. I ran 2 boxes of nails through it, so it was probably like almost 2 boxes of nails. But it was like 3,000 nails I ran through that thing, and it worked great. Never had one jam, no problems, nothing. I'm sure the 28 clipped head one's probably very similar. I wonder about this 3-in-1 framing nailer. If anyone's used that, I'd like to possibly get one of those one day instead of buying both of those. I actually had this 16 gauge finish nailer. I didn't even take it out of the box. It was $60, and I found a Hayachi one for $30. It came with a case and safety glasses and a bunch of other little things for $30. So this one went back. I never did use it though, unfortunately. They're air hoses, the polyurethane ones, the PVC ones, the rubber hybrid ones. The rubber hybrid, that one might be okay, but the PVC and the polyurethane, they're garbage. I would never use them again. They always end up leaking within about a year. I just purchased the Diablo hose, actually the red one. You can just feel the quality of that thing. It's very good quality. And I would buy it again if I needed to. Has anyone used either one of these hose reels? Kind of curious about them, so I had to keep rolling my hose up myself. And there's also some steel quick connects here. They seem like they're probably a pretty good deal, but I like the gold colored ones. I guess I don't really have a reason for liking them. The Orbital Jigsaw. I actually owned this and I actually took it back. I actually found a better deal at Walmart. I'm going to show it to you right now actually, just because I have it handy. I mean, it is identical. Almost exactly the same. This one's hyper tough. It was at Walmart for $20. Like you could, or $17, excuse me. $17. And it looks the same. Like they just changed out the name badge from Chicago Electric to Hyper Tough or something. It works great. I don't use it a whole lot, so it's not a professional tool, but for what I use it for, it's great. The industrial bench table saw, like I said, this one does dado cuts. My $140 Craftsman one does not. There's plenty of comparison videos, even comparing to the one of the Craftsman. So that may be a great deal. I may even have to go pick it up because I was quite disappointed with that one not doing dado cuts. The Sawzall. You can find this thing on sale for like $17. At least that's what I bought mine at. I think it's a great deal. I mean, it may not be the world's best Sawzall, but it works pretty good. I use it for trimming tree branches. I cut a steel lock, a padlock off a shed. There was a lot of things I've done with it, and it's worked for me every time. Does anyone use the chop saw? I feel like that's a good deal. I haven't had the privilege to, I haven't needed one, I guess, yet. The wire wheels from Warrior, I hated them. They were not great at all. All the bristles would fly out and hit you in the face. And this is before you even used them. As I said in the previous video, the cheap angle grinder, stay away from. I've heard great things about the red-bodied angle grinder. And I've also heard good things about the blue-bodied angle grinder. I'm sure this Hercules one is also great. But for the most part, I try to stay away from the Chicago Electric stuff if I can. Their small little Dremel that they offer for, I don't know, $7 or something. It's a little kit. I actually mistakenly bought that. That thing was weak. My wife actually had a nail polisher, some kind of fingernail thing, and it was more powerful than this. But I actually did buy it, took it back and bought this kit when it was on sale, and it was a great deal. That one works pretty well. I was able to grind down some things in my suspension, my wheel well, and get it out of the way. And it was, just cut it off, grinded it down. They're sanders. You can get a better deal at Home Depot or Lowe's than $30. You can get a Ryobi Orbital Sander. I think I paid $17. The 3-piece hex, this is from Warrior, 3-piece hex drill socket drivers. I actually like this okay. There's nothing like being able to put your drill on put sockets in your drill and just go. Especially when it's just wimpy bolts that don't need a whole lot of force to get off. I've never cut any tile and I don't need any hammer drills. So I'll show you the pages, but I don't have any recommendations on this. This is one of those hate-love things. My drill has been great. I used it to hang drywall. And the flashlight's semi decent. And if you just bought it for the flashlight, I've spent more than, you usually can get it for like $17, but I spent more than $17 just on a flashlight, and then that one has a rechargeable battery. But anyway, as a whole, I try to stay away from the Chicago Electric wireless tools because they've always been treating me bad. The Warrior 13-piece paddle, the spade drill bit set, I call them paddle bits sometimes for whatever reason. But anyway, they were complete garbage. I bought that and drilled holes through all my studs to run some wiring all the way around the room. And I pretty much doled out the whole set, and I had multiple size holes. But I mean, I guess for $10, maybe the Hercules ones would be better. I don't know. There's that impact again, electric impact. Like I said, I think that thing's pretty great. I've never had any problems. The drill bits, I broke every one of those I ever bought. The high-speed step bits, I think they're pretty great. They drill holes in cars' firewalls when you need to run a wire through, so it was pretty decent deal. I never used any of the sanders or the scroll saws. I'd stay away from the vices. Like I said, they crack and break when you try to clamp down on things. I would assume that's a pretty good deal. I wonder how well it actually works. I've never, like I said, I've never needed one. I've always kind of wanted a lathe too, so I had to check that out sometime. The belt sander, for some reason I always wanted to buy it. I've heard mixed reviews on it too. Never had a drill press. Don't have a welder. This stuff seems like a great deal, but I wonder how well it really works. Generators. You know, if it's just as good as the Honda one like they claim, it's obviously an awesome deal. I just don't know how long the durability would be there. I'm sure Honda has a way better warranty than the Predator one. The heat gun, big no-no. Like I said, my last one, the first one, the switch quit working, the second one caught on fire. Safety glasses for $2. They're pretty decent. Anyone use the electric paint sprayers? Another one from Walmart, the Wagner one, is pretty decent. I actually used one of these pumps in my pond. I don't remember which model it was anymore because it's been a few years, but it worked for about a month and a half, and it just stopped. And I took it back and they wouldn't let me return it. So, the power fed drain cleaner, auger. I actually had this one. It's kind of like this, but it doesn't have the handle and it doesn't have wheels, so you have to carry it, and it's not light. But we had it, and it worked great for a few years, and I stored it in a friend's garage because he borrowed it and he stuck it in his garage, and his house burned down. So I never did buy another one because I haven't needed it. But I would absolutely just go buy it if I needed it. It's cheaper than calling a plumber, and it's not that hard. Alright, they're dollies. I'm always kind of on the edge about buying a dolly from Harbor Freight because, you know, people always say bad things about them. I assume they're probably pretty decent. But I was able to get a Milwaukee brand one from Menards for like $25. That was not even on sale without a coupon, so. Furniture dollies, they're a way better deal than Lowe's. I actually have this folding ladder. I absolutely love it. With my shoes being so big though, and my boots, I can't put both feet on one rung at one time. So like getting off my roof with how steep the angle is, I need to be able to put both my feet on one rung to be able to get down. So that's the only thing I don't like about it. But for anything else, changing light bulbs that are high up or anything, that thing is awesome. I'd buy it again too. You can usually find it on sale for about $100. I'm sure the scaffolding is pretty good. I was going to buy it, but I decided not to. The drywall panel hoist, it's great. I've actually bought it twice. I bought it and used it and then sold it for, I don't know, $40 less because I used it for the weekend to hang all the ceiling drywall. It was totally worth it. It was way better than having someone standing there helping me the whole time, whining, complaining I'm taking too long. And I'm actually going to need it again in this new house we just bought. So I think it's a really great deal. I mean, it's $200, and you could get your $200 back off Craigslist or something else. These cheap foldable saw horses. I actually bought the set of 2. I think they're like $17 for both of them. They look really flimsy. They feel really flimsy, and you know they just look cheap, but they really do work. Sometimes I just fold mine out and sit on them just to show people that it's just not that flimsy. Unfortunately, I have not had the privilege to use any of the Portland yard tools. I'm always eyeballing the greenhouse, but unfortunately I don't have a yard big enough currently. Has anyone used the 7/8 pole saw? I have a lot of high branches I'd like to cut off, and I feel like that might be a good solution, but I don't know if it's junk or not. I've actually had to use the electric log splitter. I was helping my dad split some wood. It worked very well. I would suggest if you need a log splitter to buy that. It was much easier than the hydraulic one. But I guess if you like the workout, get the hydraulic one. The scissors for 99 cents. They're really great. Other than being plastic, I think that's like the style ones that they used to show on TV, cutting through a penny. They cut through chicken bones or whatever else you need them to cut through. I keep a pair in the garage and in the kitchen. We probably have about 5 pairs overall. I can't verify they're all from Harbor Freight though. I know some are. The portable LED work light, flashlight thing. It's magnetic and has a hook. I talked about it in the previous video. I absolutely love them. I'm changing ball joints. You just stick it up in the wheel well on the metal, and you can kind of angle it where you want it. The portable LED work light, it burnt out. There was bulbs burnt out when I bought it. I even took it back and got another one, and they burnt out pretty quickly. The 4-foot 12 outlet metal power strip. I actually currently own 2 of these, and I'm getting ready to go back and pick up another one. They're great. You know, they're 4 foot long. Mine came with little metal brackets that you can screw into the wall or screw into something. You just snap the power strip down on top of it. I think they're a really great deal. I don't think you could find one cheaper. They're extension cords. I don't know how long they'll typically last, but they feel like they're good quality. I actually own 2. I use them. My oldest one, the first one I bought was probably a year ago, and the other one I bought was around Christmas. For the Christmas tree. Dave gave me no indication that they're going to fail or anything. So, has anyone used the extension cord reels? I feel like that would help me stay organized. I think they kind of look cool, you know, when you just pull the extension cord out, use it, and let it go, and it goes back in the saw. TV wall mount up to 70 inches. That's a great deal for $25. I paid probably $45 for my last TV mount. I don't know if I'd ever pay it again for that mount, but the mount's premium, you know, tilts and swivels and stuff. This is just a flat panel, like tilting front and back. And I wish I would have seen this before, because I would have bought this. Fiberglass wire running kit. You know, you put the wire on, you just keep adding poles, you keep shoving it through. That seems like a really great deal for $10. Be even less with the coupon. I never tried any of the security stuff. I was kind of wondering about this solar powered LED light though, for like the corner of my house where there's no outlets. Just gonna put that over there. Don't have any of the safes if I had anything I needed to keep in a safe, I probably wouldn't shop at Harbor Freight. I don't know anything valuable. But maybe you keep gun safe. I mean, it's a good deal for that. But I don't know anything I should keep in a safe. The Voyager tool bags. Like I said, I think they're really great. They hold quite a bit of stuff. I'm actually gonna go pick up a few more. Keep my plumbing supplies in one, so I can just grab the plumbing bag when I have to go help family or something. Their toolboxes, the metal ones are probably kind of neat. These always felt kind of cheap. They reflect their price. The storage boxes are always good. Even the cheap ones are not bad. Tape measures are pretty good. You get this one free a lot. The V-shape hang-alls. I own probably about 6 of these things. They're great for water hoses, extension cords, air hoses, just whatever really. I think they're a great deal. The 4-in-1 aluminum square, Raptor Angle square. I don't know. Mine was never straight. I bought one, took it back. Next time I went, got another one. They were just, I could never find a straight one. So maybe if you could find a straight one, that'd be good. Maybe it's just how they make them is crooked. But I can never get one to be completely straight. And actually, $2.99, you can find them cheaper at Lowe's. Dead blow hammer, much cheaper than like Lowe's, and they're pretty tough. Rubber mallet, cheap, work great. The 4-piece heavy duty pry bar set. I picked that up and it's been very useful. They've shown no damage to them for me swinging on them. The small pry bar set, they're great for getting out nails because they're flat. The files and the chisels, I've had horrible experiences with them. Their Allen keys are good. I think that set's great. $7.99. This one, where they fold out, mine actually fell apart, and every time I put it together, it just ended up falling apart again. So I just kind of gave up and threw them away. So I can't recommend those. But all these have a lifetime warranty apparently. So I've never bought any of their screwdrivers or nut drivers because I feel like they're probably pretty cheap. If you've ever used their free set for anything, you realize that they're not that good. But that's not to say that these kits aren't a great deal. They may be good enough for a do-it-yourselfer, but I'm really hard on my tools. Their wrenches are all pretty great. I've never had a problem with them. They're a little, they got a tiny amount of play in them, but mine are several years old, so I'm sure they've got better. Most of their pliers and things are actually pretty decent. Their locking jaw pliers are great. I'd stay away from their real thin needle nose ones and stuff because you put any amount of pressure on them, they will break. Yeah, they're free replacement, but how many times do you want to take them back in? The magnetic tool holder is just a giant magnet on a bar. I feel like it's a really great deal. A lot of times it's free also. Just hang it up and stick your tools on it. The ratchets. The composite ratchets are awesome. I don't really care for the other ones. They're just kind of normal ratchets, and I already have better brand ratchets, so I didn't buy those. But the composite ratchets, I absolutely love them. If they broke today, I would go buy some more tomorrow. I try to stay away from all their steel sockets because every one I've ever owned, I've split. The torque wrenches, for 20 bucks, they're pretty decent. I actually own 2 of them, and I own a better one. And just testing the torque specs to myself, they were almost pretty much dead on every time. So if you're a close enough kind of person, they're a great deal. The 21-piece SAE and metric go-through socket set. I absolutely love this also. The sockets go into the head of the socket so you can go around the whole nut. It's great for tight spaces or really long nuts. It's a super awesome deal. These colored sockets, the chrome and colored sockets, personally just stay away. Just buy the impact ones. They're very similar priced, and these break. The hex drive sets and the star sets and the torques and all that stuff, they're all pretty decent. but they like to slip out and they like to strip off themselves. Last time I was doing brake calipers on my car, I stripped out the one side with the tool, and then on the other side I stripped out the tool. So it just wasn't a good deal all around. I was quite upset. I actually own this, the 30 bin wall mount parts rack. It was a pretty great deal. I think I got it for $14 instead of $19 because it was on sale or something. I'm sure all these bins are pretty decent. I know all the carts and toolboxes are decent. On this workbench, it's actually to my left over here. It's the blue one. Had an outlet and light. I would not buy that again. You could actually get them much cheaper elsewhere, and they're just not sturdy. They're just very wimpy. They look nice, but that's it. I actually helped my dad put this together. He uses it in his garage. It's a very nice table. I don't know about the clamp on the side. I haven't tested everything, but it was very sturdy. It would be a very good work table for woodworking. And of course, more toolboxes, stuff I wish I could fit in my garage, but at this point in time, I cannot. They look great. They're very stout feeling. And then we got the coupons on the back. The Earthquake Impact. I've heard great things about it. The ammo boxes are pretty good, for storing ammo and things. Hose reel. I still am considering buying that. Their fans looked kind of cool too, and I don't need a power washer. Alright, well, I appreciate you spending, 45 minutes with me here. Until next time, take it easy, and I'll see you around. If you made it to the end of that, you're a true trooper. Anyway, I appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, comments, or anything, leave them in the comment section below. And I'll see you soon.